It's Dew Time with Pastor Steph.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Rise and shine. You're on with this Dew Time with Pastor Steph. How are you this morning? That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. For this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. So, I don't even know what to ask you. Normally, I would say, where were you yesterday? Where were you last week? Well, how are you? We are in our first Monday of 2026. That means that all of the 1965 babies, they are already 60 years old. The 1966 babies, they are now 60 years old this year. God spares their life. You know, we have a wonderful, wonderful opportunity now, as always, to just walk in newness. Walk in newness. You know, I have not subscribed to New Year's resolutions and all of that kind of stuff for years now, because my thing is, we're talking about what's going to happen in the new year. We may not even make it through that particular day. We're talking about what we're going to do during the new year or for the new year. Why not start immediately? If God is making you aware of anything, you need to start immediately. The new year did not need to be your benchmark, because honestly speaking, you were taking a chance that you weren't even going to be here. But God, in his mercy and his grace, he saw to it that we were included this morning. So now everybody's back to school. Everybody's back to work. Where is your newness for this shaking the Monday morning blues? How are we getting ourselves started? Are you starting yourself with a smile? Are you really taking that slogan, shaking the Monday morning blues, seriously? You know, there are some people who they can't stand waking up on Monday mornings, because it's like, oh, here we go, back to the plantation, and back to my slave work. And no. We are going to greet God with a smile. We are going to say, thank you, God, for waking me up this morning, and I am going to enjoy your day. It is your day. This is the day that you have made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. You are my Alpha, my Omega, my beginning and my end. And God, I need to just sit still so you can clue me in on what you want from me today. What do you want for me today? What do you want me to do today? Today, unlike any other day that I've ever thought this, I'm really thinking soberly today. Today is your day. Your day. We came from this whole Christmas business and the reason for the season. Jesus ain't got nothing to do with that season. It's about shopping and all of that kind of stuff. And for those who say, well, can't we celebrate Jesus? That's what I do every day. We were not ever told in 66 books to celebrate Jesus's birthday. We are to celebrate his life. So now that we done got past all of those fake festivities, let's get down to some real living. Now that we have seen another day where other people didn't make it, we lost quite a few people in 2025. Wow. So tomorrow, unlike any other time, I generally don't mark any deaths. If you ever notice, I really don't talk about who we lose, although it is a blow to maybe the music industry or the entertainment industry in some shape, form, or fashion. Yeah, I get it. I feel it. I miss it. I miss them. I generally don't do it, but tomorrow, God spares, I am going to do that thing because I think we need reason to celebrate. We need reason to celebrate life. And we've had people who, people just committed suicide, just were sick today, gone tomorrow. People who were sick for a while and we knew about them being ill. This thing called life is big. It's big. And I don't know about anybody else, but I have decided to leave the world behind a long time ago. This world cannot tell me what to do. Sometimes, we have to, God says we're in the world, but we don't have to be of the world. We have to follow certain things, because we just could not function. Plain and simple as that. We could not function if we worked the opposite way. But being of the world, a whole different ball of wax. And I'm trusting God that if you have decided to just hang out with Pastor Steph and the Due Time crew each and every morning, that you're going to pay attention to the things that God wants for you, because that's all we ever talk about. We talk about this crazy news, which indicates how crazier this world is has gotten and is. We covered some crazy stories in 2025. And it was worse than in 2024, worse than 2023, worse than 2022. It's just getting worse and worse. So come on. Let's shake that Monday morning blues. Let's look at God in his face and tell God, I'm ready. I am ready to begin this week because you have given it to me. I'm trusting that you're going to let me go through this week. But if anything, I'm going to celebrate today. I'm going to celebrate right now because I don't know how much of this day I even have. So I am going to get right into it. And I'm going to enjoy you. And I'm going to start off with Pastor Steph and the crazy Due Time crew. Well, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. So we're about to get this party started. Come on. Go ahead and get that healthy breakfast. Come along and tell somebody, anybody, everybody that it's Due Time with Pastor Steph is on. And whatever you do, don't go anywhere because we will be right back.
This is why you need to know Augustus Jackson, the man who turned ice cream into a universal delight. Born in 1808, Jackson started young, cooking for US presidents at just 9 years old. But his real magic began when he left the White House for Philadelphia. Here, he revolutionized ice cream by creating the eggless recipe we still use today. Before Jackson, ice cream was a luxury for the rich. His ingenious use of salt lowered the freezing point, making it easier to produce and more affordable. He sold his creations in metal tins to local black-owned parlors, democratizing dessert. Jackson's legacy isn't just in the flavors, but in the joy and accessibility of ice cream itself. His passion for bringing people together over a shared love for ice cream has made it more than a treat. So next time you enjoy a scoop, remember Augustus Jackson, the man.
Good morning, and good morning again. Welcome back to It's Due Time with Pastor Steph. We are shaking the Monday morning blues, the first Monday of 2026. Now, I just want to remind you that when you write your dates Don't write 1-5-25. You got to write 1-5-26. Okay? All right. Because remember, we used to do that and you just have to remember and scratch it out. But you're going to just mess up everything if you don't remember that. Okay? Okay. Well, I want to say good morning to all my due time viewers out there. If you're in the room, please make sure you check in, because other than that, I don't know you're here and I can't say good morning. Of course, the first one to check in this morning is Ketty. Good morning, Ketty. Thank you so much for joining us. We got to check it from our girl, Kusa. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We got to check it from our girl, Tamika. Good morning. Looking forward to seeing you on the screen this morning. And you tell Brother Al, make sure he's up bright and early, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed with our oh yeah. We got to check it from our boy Terrence. What's up, Terrence? We missed you last week. So we are so glad that you are doing well. And we see your name. We saw you for a quick second last week. But I was like, where's Terrence at? So I guess you were on vacation. So I trust that you and the family are well. Where's Mom? I hope she's doing well. I said, hey, we got to check it from our girl, Teresa. Good morning, Teresa. How are you? Thank you so much for joining us. Miss Grace, if you're out there, I'm giving you a shout out. Good morning. I hope you're doing well and everything is back on track, and you're nice and toasty and warm when you go out this morning. Thank you so much for joining us. We must say good morning to the ladies that help us up. Just make sure we're held down each and every day, Monday through Friday. Let's say good morning to our girl Shantice. Hey, good morning. And let's say good morning to our girl Anika. Good morning, Anika. We got to check in from our boy Serge. What's going on? Serge, what's going on? All right, Serge, listen. I need to know, what does Strider HIRYU1 mean? Tell me what that means. If it's private, then tell me later. But if I'm dying to know, every time I look at this, I always ask, what is that? Tell me what that means. All right. Well, for all of you who are too shy to check in, or your hands are not free to type in that good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining me and the Due Time crew this morning. All righty. Well, we got our first health tip. Yes, first health tip for 2026. And we're talking about foods that have more protein in them than eggs. Now, I don't know about you, but I have been led to follow a high protein diet. It's supposed to give you like a whole lot of energy and be very good for you and all of that kind of stuff. So I decided I'm going to give it a try. And so I've been touching on it off and on. I got to tell you, some of the recipes, it looks good when they're doing it, but when I do it, it just does not come out right. So let's see what the high protein foods say so we can, get our health on. We got to check in from Miss Herlima. Good morning, Miss Herlima. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay. So we all know that they say eggs are extremely an excellent source of protein, but there are some other foods that we can, include in that will not only support our muscle growth and repair our muscles, but they are highly have vitamins, minerals, and healthy fats. And one of the first things is Greek yogurt, one of my staples. Definitely your Greek yogurt. Yogurt is power packed with protein, and they say you've got 16.1 grams of protein per 5.5 an ounce serving. So that's a nice amount of protein. So you can get, the the original Greek yogurt. Don't get the sweet stuff, okay? They have the Greek yogurt that has the fruit in it. No, the regular Greek yogurt we're talking about, because once you add that sweet stuff, it kills a lot of your benefits, okay? All right, so don't forget, you can put your Greek yogurt in your smoothies. Greek yogurt is excellent for sauces and gravies. Yeah, a lot of times if I don't have heavy cream, I tear up some Greek yogurt, add that, and it definitely helps to thicken your soups or stews. So try it. Chicken breast. Now, chicken breast, yes, we know is more expensive than, other parts of the chicken. I don't know what, because only other parts of the chicken is more expensive than legs and thighs, because the wings, out of this world. Somebody tell me what happened to a chicken wing. When I was growing up, if you wanted a cheap part of the chicken, you got the wing. Now, breasts are cheaper than the wings, but breast is high in protein. They say out of 3.5 ounce serving, 22.5 grams. Now, that also means you're not frying that bad boy and you're killing some of the great properties of your chicken breast. I mean, yeah, I know it's good. But just think, I'm just letting you know that if your goal is to pull up this protein out of your chicken breast, that all the breadcrumbs and the oil from the vegetable oil, all that stuff is going to kind of kill it. So, grill it, air fry it, put it in the oven. I know it doesn't taste the same, but listen, use the fried chicken as a treat. Yeah, I don't fry as much anymore. Okay. Serge is giving us is he giving us a tip? Let's see what's going on in Serge's world right now. Oh, he's giving us the Strider, HIRYU1. It's a ninja character in a game. My nickname for people. Some people knows me playing the game. Oh, okay. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that with us, Serge. Thank you. All right. So we're talking about the foods that have high protein in it, and it's not an egg, because I can't eat the egg, so I can't get no protein from it. Salmon. Yes. They say salmon is a powerhouse. 20.3 grams of protein per 100 grams of salmon. That's quite a bit of protein. Now, they say salmon is also great for vitamin D. Definitely helps with your bone health. We have talked about salmon being great for your heart health. Salmon is power packed, period. All right. Okay. Edamame. Now we know that has jumped off the shelves recently. It's an Asian food, from what I understand, an Asian vegetable. And they are very young soybeans, they say. And it's 18.4 grams per protein cup. 18.4 grams of protein per cup. So you got that's about a cup right there. And you got 18.4 grams of protein right there. Okay, so listen, put it up in your stews, your soups. Now, in your stew, you got chicken. Oh, there's your protein. You got Greek yogurt. That is your protein. And you've got edamame. Yo, you loaded. Protein soup right there. If you don't like the edamame, try lentil soup. Delicious. Great for protein. 17.9 grams per cup. So you got a whole lot of protein up in there. And they say lentils are great for your digestive system, and it helps to stabilize your blood sugar levels. What more do you want? So you got this much, and it helps you this much. That much. There you go. All righty. So definitely get those proteins in. If you decide to adopt a protein diet, let Pastor Steph know, because I'm doing it. I am doing it. So I'll let you know how I make out. Now, hopefully I can lose some weight. I can get some energy. I can, get healthy. I can definitely drop that blood sugar level because I am determined I am not going to be diabetic by the time I turn 60. God spares my life. I will not. I will not. I will not. I got another quick little tip for you. Some food that's going to detox your body. Okay? And leafy greens. They say it detoxes your body and it is a powerhouse. Okay? Your leafy greens. Now we're talking about your spinach, your kale, your Swiss chard. That's what we're talking about. Just load up, and salad is the way to go to kind of flush out your intestines. Yes. They say fruit and veggies are great for your intestinal tract, just flushing it all out. Berries, another thing on that list. Antioxidant crazy, but they say detoxifier, mad powerhouse. They're saying your berries, your blueberries, strawberries, raspberries in particular, but they always talk about the darker berries. The blueberries and the blackberries tend to be a much higher dose of antioxidant. Okay, so make sure you get your blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries in. They are high fiber. They have high fiber content, great for your digestion, and it will definitely help to detox your body and lower that blood sugar levels. All righty. Let me get this right. Cruciferous vegetables. They call them the detox champions. Broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. I know a lot of people say, I hate cauliflower. Listen, it is so healthy for you. It's a little rougher than your leafy vegetables, but it is great for detoxifying your body. They say regular consumption of cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts are the lead players in this category. They say reduces your risk of chronic diseases, including certain cancers, and you can put those cruciferous vegetables in anything. Yes, stews, soups, put it as your vegetable on your plate. Yes. Garlic, always have been known as a superfood. Definitely get that in your system for flushing out the toxins. And definitely you can listen. You can get fresh garlic, you can get the jar or minced garlic, and you can get garlic paste. And let me tell you something. It doesn't have to overpower your food. Nope, not at all. Beets, and I remember growing up, we hated beets, but I love me a beet. Now they say that beets are great for antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. They say beets also support bile production, which is essential for fat digestion and toxin elimination. It's loaded with high fiber, and it definitely will help to maintain those of you who have problems with your bowel movements. Make sure you get those beets in your system. Green tea. Here we go. Bam. Green tea. Definitely get that green tea in your system. All green tea will help reduce inflammation. It will definitely detox your body if you drink it on a regular basis. It is great for you. Turmeric. Now, I've turned everything in my house yellow. So I tried to buy a different pot that I only cook turmeric stuff in there. I have turmeric tea and all of that kind of stuff. But the frying pan is looking yellow. The pot is looking yellow. Bowls, plates. So here's the thing. I'm going to give you a tip after I tell you how great turmeric is for your system. All right. So they say turmeric is great and is known for anti-inflammatory properties, antioxidant properties. They say that turmeric also supports production of bile, which is crucial for fat digestion and toxin elimination, like we were talking about earlier. And you definitely want to get that in your system on a regular basis. Now, here's what you do. As soon as you finish, keep vinegar. Didn't I tell you God had to create vinegar in its purest forms? Vinegar, vinegar, vinegar. Get that paper towel and vinegar and start wiping out your stuff immediately. All my little mugs, turmeric stains in them, everything, turmeric stains, everything. So as soon as you finish, just get that paper towel, get that vinegar and start scrubbing, okay? And based on the item that you're using, it all may not come out, but you'll get most of it out, okay? Avocados. I am an avocado queen these days. I love my avocado, despite the fact that it is very bland. So all you gotta do is dress it up with a little seasoning. That's all. So many herbs, so many seasonings going on. There's no reason why you should not eat avocado. All right, they say great for detoxification, and it's a powerhouse when it comes to antioxidants. Now, here's the thing. Avocados can go in anything. Your smoothie, I put avocados in my smoothie. Delicious. It gives it that thickness that you may want. I put it in my soup yesterday. I put it on my burger. Oh, my goodness. Avocados all over the place. All right. Now, food you need to stay away from. Sugary beverages. Okay, we all know the high content of any soda or energy drinks. They will definitely, they say, clog your body's detox pathways. So you want to stay away from that. Trans fats, fried foods, and baked goods. They will also cause problems and give you some heart disease possibly, and definitely the inflammation. So make sure you stay away from that. And what else? I thought I had a few of them, but nope, that's it. Just those things. All right. So we know what to eat and what not to eat. Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about the news. Now, I got to tell y'all, I was a little hard pressed to find news after the new year. All they do is talk about the crime. Yeah, who committed the first crime, or where was the first baby born, and all this kind of stuff. Well, I wasn't interested in that at all. So I tried to pull up some stuff that definitely would interest you, but how can I get away from the killing? That's all we talked about in the news. That's it. All the news contained somebody dying. Alrighty. All right. So we start off with another boyfriend-girlfriend argument. Can we talk a little bit here? How can we spread love? I don't know. How can we spread love more? I don't know. Because everybody's arguing over everything. Well, they went out to Taco Bell. Now, we found, a couple of weeks ago, they were out at Walmart fighting. Another couple, now they're out at Taco Bell. They fighting, sitting in the car. They were fighting in front of Taco Bell. They don't say why, but Destiny Green, 23 years old, they say it's a New Year's Eve incident. And Destiny was out of control. All right. So she and her boyfriend are arguing in front of Taco Bell in the car. I always say somebody's got to be the first one to stop talking. Well, thumbs up to her boyfriend who got out of the car. Listen, I can't stop you from arguing, but I can definitely step away. Unfortunately, that didn't do the job. She was so angry that she drove her car onto the sidewalk, going the wrong way on the street. So not only are you going the wrong way for other drivers, but the pedestrians don't even know to watch out for you on the sidewalk. And she strikes him from behind. Yeah. Well, thank God he did not die. But can you imagine being so angry that you just gonna run somebody over with your car? Oh my gosh. Well, she going to jail for the new year. That's for sure. Yeah, because that's attempted murder. Vehicular, charges. Can't say vehicular homicide or manslaughter because he didn't die, but definitely. But they are saying that last year, there was a serious surge in domestic violence incidences. And you know what? It wasn't until they said that I realized we did a lot of domestic violence incidences. It really wasn't a lot of incidences against people that didn't know the person or the person wasn't a loved one. Yeah, they said, yeah, it is really an uptick in this domestic violence area. And all I got to say is people need some anger management classes. People need Jesus. People need to just know how to just settle down. So this guy, he gets out of the car and now he's got to run for his life. Now, how wide was this sidewalk that she didn't strike somebody else, that she didn't run into a pole or something and even hurt her own self? I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Hopefully, more people will find Jesus and we can stop this domestic violence and this violence period. Again, this has very little to do with mental illness. This is straight evil going on in the world. Yeah. All right. So here we go. We have a man who is no domestic violence here. So he is off his rocker as well. And this is off your rocker Monday. That's what we're going to call this. So out in Louisiana, a woman is driving her car with 5 other people in the car, including, or 5 of them in total. It's 5 or 6 people in total in the car, including her 2-year-old baby. Well, as she's driving, she spots her car and it's stolen. Can you imagine? You know your car so well that when somebody drives by, you're like, hey, that's my car. So what she does is she decides to follow him. She doesn't make any noise. She doesn't honk him. She doesn't scream. She just follows him. Now, I don't know, maybe she figured by the time she got to where he was going and she finished the trip, she would call the cops, let them know where her car was. Well, before she could get to the destination with him, again, on New Year's Eve, another New Year's Eve story, he gets out of the car and starts shooting into the car. And he strikes her 2-year-old. And she's in critical condition. So right now, as of the report of this news, she was not dead, but a bullet in a 2-year-old. We really praying that however, God, whatever he's going to do, he preserves her life and there's no long-term suffering, because, there are those miracles. Yeah. But he got out. He got out of the car and shot into the car. Thank God that, no one else was stricken. And they drove to the police station, which was not too far. And then they rushed the baby to the hospital. And we're really hoping that this baby makes it. They have not found him. No, well, as of the report, they didn't find him, but they did find the car. So let me tell you what's going to happen. All they got to do is check the fingerprints on the car. Because if he stole her car, he didn't stole somebody else's car. He's done something else. Yeah, he's going down. And look what you're going down for. Listen, if you wanted to steal a car, keep it moving. Oh, goodness gracious. Let's see what else we're talking about here. Oh, always the attack on our seniors. So you have talking about behind the wheel of a car out in Wisconsin. There's a road rage incident of a teenager and an 81-year-old man. And he is charged with felony battery on an elderly individual. And they say what happens is the older gentleman was driving, I guess, a little too slow. So the teen cuts him off. And what happens is somehow or another, the elderly man gets in front. And as he's honking the elderly man decides to slow down. Now, how many of us have done this thing? Yeah. So somebody's honking you at a stop sign. And it's like, yo, I didn't even get a chance to put my foot on the brake or take my foot off the brake. Or sometimes you're at a red light and before the light changes, they already honking you and you just sit there or you drive real slow. That didn't work. Somehow or another, they ended up getting out of the car and the older man pushes the teen. Now, come on, man. Did you forget that you were older? So he pushes the teen and the teen gets to, plummeting him really, really, really bad. To the point where they're calling it felony battery. Well, he tells someone on the phone inside the prison, he forgets that they taped this stuff, that he should have done more. They said he was bleeding from all his ears, from his eyes, that he had multiple scrapes and bruises. He's got a possible concussion, blurred vision, and he said, I should have done more. This is why I say this ain't got no mental illness. He didn't say, well, you know what? I'm really I got out of control. I shouldn't have done that. Maybe, next time I'll just stay in my car. No, he said, I did all of this and now I should have done more. Come on. No control. No self-control at all. Now, here's an interesting story, my last story of this morning, that I thought was really, really interesting, because there's a little piece of this that I had no idea, and y'all can let me know if y'all know about this. So, in Walmart, I don't see where they're telling us where this Walmart is. These two men come into some level of confrontation, but they say that the older black guy, he did not do anything. But somehow or another, this white guy starts cussing at him and saying all kinds of racist things and being disrespectful. And he ends up spitting on the black man. Now, they said that the Walmart employees just stood there and looked and took another patron to kind of guide the guy away who did the spitting. And they said it really could have gotten out of control had they not walked this guy off. Now, they don't know who this is, but of course they've got footage, as you can see. And They are calling him this feral thug. Now, I don't know what that means. I don't know why, but I think it's possibly because you attacked this man and he did nothing. Now, here's what I didn't know, and y'all let me know if y'all know this. In 50 states, it's considered a criminal assault if you spit on somebody. I have never heard of that before. Yeah, you can actually go to jail and pay a fine if you spit on someone. Now, generally, this is not pushed unless like you spit on a police officer or some type of public figure, some politician or something like that. But when we be spitting on one another, like this man spit on the man in the store, they don't really make a noise about it. Well, they are ringing this bell now, because that's what they're going to charge him with. It's a criminal assault, and they're going after him. So maybe he didn't know, but they said that all the bystanders said that this man did nothing to him. The older black guy did nothing to him. All of a sudden, he just started cussing at the man and saying all kind of racial things. And they were like, yo, what's up with you? And now, the other thing they said was, people would say, how come Walmart employees, they were just standing by. They didn't, do anything. Well, first of all, I want to know, where are the Walmart employees, period? Forget about why they didn't do anything. I can't tell you last time I was in a Walmart and saw 5 of them in total, unless they at the cash register. I don't understand these huge stores that have nobody in them. Now, at least in Target, you can identify with the red and the khaki. I hardly see them. So they're saying, well, how come the Walmart employees did not do anything? Well, Walmart spoke up and said they have told their employees, call a manager and 911, but you are not to get involved. Now, I'll have to tell you that most people would be like that anyway. You might find that rare, brave individual who may want to get, involved. And like this, they said it was a woman who actually guided this guy away, who did the spitting, but it definitely was not a Walmart employee. They said they stood by and gasped. Like, oh, they were surprised as everybody else. So I just wanted to ask, did anybody know that it was a criminal assault in 50 states to spit on somebody? So that's kind of like my highlight of this story. So let me talk to my DEW Time crew. Maybe they've heard of this rule. Where is my girl Tamika? Let's say hello to Tamika. Hey, girl.
Good morning. Happy first Monday of the year.
Well, happy Monday to you.
How are you today?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
I am well, thank you. Getting better every day.
Good. How's that throat?
I'm doing well. I have some vocal therapy that they gave me to increase any incidences. And I'm doing well.
Good. Very good. All righty. So they're saying that there's this uptick in domestic violence. Now, I hadn't considered it, but thinking back, we did a whole lot of stories regarding, domestic violence incidences and boyfriend and girlfriend. We did several stories over the year with them. And one of the stories we're covering today is the Taco Bell argument. They're sitting in front of Taco Bell arguing in the car. He does the right thing. He gets out the car. She, in turns, drives up on the sidewalk and chases him down and hits him with the car. Now, what kind of mad you got to be to drive your car? We saw that already one time this year, didn't we?
We have. I just, we often talk about people being unhinged. Like it at any moment, people can lose their minds. We talked about an incident where someone drove a car over this guy's head as he's up underneath the car, the mechanic, and there've been many times where y'all out of soy sauce, y'all out of ketchup, y'all out of mustard, and people literally jump over the counter, and now we're in an argument. You get out the car. It's almost as if, how you get into an argument, you're like, okay, I need to walk away, and the person grabs your arm. That's not even that. She was like, oh, I'm not done with, you finished with this conversation? I'm not. And it's not like she got to the side, where I've seen people in an argument, he's in the car or she's in the car and the other person is walking. Not even that. You ran this man over. Like, girl, your emotions are literally all over the place, and to that degree that you would run somebody over. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
And this is supposedly your boyfriend. Right. Now, this is different than when the girl got into an argument with her boyfriend's sister, and she ran her car up on the sidewalk and killed the poor man sitting in his rolling walker. This is your boyfriend. Right. So, this is crazy. This is really, really crazy. And this is why they mention the fact that there's this surge in domestic violence incidences. And it's true. This boyfriend and girlfriend thing, this is crazy. This has really gone straight through the roof. Where's Brother Al? Is he ready for us?
Chop of the morning, chop of the morning, chop of the New Year morning.
Why do we have to see your face all up in the screen?
You mean like this?
Oh my goodness. Good morning, Brother Al. We're talking about the girlfriend and boyfriend fight that takes place in the car outside the Taco Bell. He gets out in order to diffuse the situation. She in turn drives on the sidewalk where he's walking, going in the wrong direction of the traffic, and hits him with her car. And they are saying that there has been a serious increase of domestic violence incidences over this past year. What's your take on that?
Yeah, just listening, it's like I have seen that, especially from the stories we've been talking about. There's definitely been a surge, and it's sad. It's like everybody is so angry. I pray for peace all the time. I even see it in the kids. Kid can be sitting there laughing and talking. A teacher say something, they go off. I'm like, why are you so angry? Like why are you so angry? And with her, with this incident, obviously this ain't the first time she got mad and went off.
Oh, absolutely.
So he should have been like, looking for the exit. He should have been looking for the exit, because this ain't the first time it happened. It might have been the first time she went to this extreme, but it ain't like it was back in the day. You get angry, you fight. People get angry, and the first word come out their mouth is, "I'll kill you." I'm like, extreme. You skip right past step 1, 2, and 3 and went to the last extreme.
Running people over.
Yeah, running people over. Like, what? Now, if she could do that to her boyfriend, imagine what she could do to her enemy.
That's right. That's right, Brother Al. That is so right.
Jesus. Why we need Jesus.
Absolutely. This has nothing to do with no mental illness. This is straight evil. Now, I wanted to ask you too, did you know that in 50 states it is a criminal offense, assault, to spit on a person?
I
did you know that, Tamika?
No. And it's probably one of those things where it has happened so much until that had to be the case. I think for us, we started hearing more people spitting between the pandemic and now, and I know I've had an incident in the past, in my former life, where a female spat on me, And I lied to you not, I lost my mind. I tried my best to kill her, and at the time, there was, the police came. It was just that bad. And they let me go, but they held her because I had proof that she had been, kind of grooming me for this time. She used to walk by and just say, I hate you. She would do all kinds of things. She would throw things. And I was like, I was fine until she spat on me. When she spat on me, it was a totally different thing. I lost my mind. And there were about at least 4 or 5, maybe even 6 guys trying to pull me off of her.
Wow. Now, why did y'all argue?
I have no idea. She used to just walk by and go, I hate you. This was college days. You can't even fathom why people do things. When she used to, like I would be walking across and she would just yell, I hate you. And I'm like, don't bother me. I don't care. And I never did anything to this girl at all. I don't even know her, but that's how it ended. That was the end result.
Wow. All right, Brother Al, you said you didn't know that it was considered criminal assault if you spit on somebody.
Yeah, I didn't know. It looked like we should have Tamika in this story fighting people. But no, I didn't know. I knew certain things about it, like my brother's a CO working in prison. If a prisoner do that, they got in trouble. But I didn't know it was in 50 states. I took it as an assault anyway. I was like, please don't spit on me, because that's the one thing that's gonna make me go left. I think that's just the nastiest thing on the planet. That's like the nastiest thing on the planet. That's a person saying you lower than the low where I spit on you. Like, oh my God, I'm glad
and they should. In the Hispanic, you always see like with the cartels and on the movies and on TV, when they get mad, they spit on the ground. That was always, seen as a level of disrespect. And, like you both have said, that's just like straight nasty. They say our mouths are nastier than a dog's mouth. So now you got somebody literally spitting on you. Serge says, we MTA workers need that. So, but here you got it, Serge. You got it. Now you can press charges. You spit on me, I'm pressing charges, because your spit is considered a weapon. And that's what they're pretty much saying. If it's a criminal, if it's a criminal assault. Terrence says, I think the spitting thing came about when COVID started. When it's been a crime, I might be wrong. Well, just that might be like Tamika said, Terrence, you might be right. We all know that spitting is nasty, but especially when, during the COVID time, when spitting was really, really something that could kill you. So maybe it was then that, the 50 states adopted that rule and that law. So listen, everybody, you heard it first, possibly on his Due Time with Pastor Steph, that if somebody spits on you, it's a criminal assault and you can press charges.
Pastor Steph is so funny because that's easier said than done. Somebody spit on you in assault, you going back in assault mode.
Yeah. So now you in trouble.
Yeah.
So now So now be smart. Press charges. Don't worry about getting back at them. Get them back. I always said to people, I was never a fighter, but my thing was, baby, you better hope that whatever you did to me, I couldn't press charges. Because I'm going straight for the law. I always said that. I don't care what happens. I'll go sit up in court. I'll do whatever we need to do. I want to see some justice. I don't want to do something to you and now I'm in trouble. Nope. I'll go sit up in court and watch the judge, the lawyers, and everybody go at it.
Pastor, I'm calling Popo.
Yes.
I'm calling Popo.
I always said that.
And Pastor Steph, when we look at it, man, and people don't realize how much the enemy is on attack on our lives so much craziness He's putting out in the world for us to do, and people who are not saved, that they just fall right into it. You know, the spitting, the anger. Everybody is so angry. And I'm like, what are you angry about? You got a roof over your head. You got food in your fridge. And I get on the kids all the time. Like I said, working with the kids, and Vivian probably can tell you as well. The kids are so angry, Pastor. It's ridiculous on how angry they are. One word to them, and I mean, they blow up like a volcano. I'm like, why are you so? And I always ask that, why are you so mad? I'm like, look what your anger getting to you now. Now I'm writing you up, and you probably gonna get suspended. Your mother gotta take off work to come up here. So what did you accomplish by being so angry? Man.
I Brother Al, I have never in my life seen a period of time where young people are so mad. And I asked the same question, what are you so mad at? Why are you so angry? Every little thing makes you mad. Yeah. Every little, sometimes even when I'm talking to my youngest, I look at her face and I'm like, okay, why? Why we look like this? Why look at your face like this? Well, what? I said, you look like you annoyed. Oh, there we go. I don't get it. And the thing about it is they haven't had it as rough as we've had it.
Right.
They have not had it as rough as we've had it. And it's like the more lenient you get, the madder they are. Oh my goodness gracious.
What's so crazy if they were, that's why I'm always talking to the kids. I'm talking to people even more now. They don't understand the joy of the Lord. You get the Lord in your life, you have joy. A teacher came to me when I was in school, and she said, Mr. B, they call me Mr. B. She said, Mr. B, I never see you, and you always smiling. I said, because what I got to be mad about? I said, listen, I got a roof over my head, my bills are paid, I got food in the fridge, clothes on my back. I said, I got no reason to get mad. I got no reason to walk around angry. She said, man, all these years you've been here, I've never seen you, just you always smiling. I said, why not? I said, you should try it. See how it feels. It feels good. Feels good.
You should try it.
Yeah, I told you.
Oh my goodness. We finally got Pastor KL on the line with us. Let's say good morning.
Good morning. Excuse my tardiness.
Good morning.
What it do, crew?
Good morning. Pastor KL, we were talking about that there is a law where spitting on someone is a criminal assault. Did you know that?
Yes, I did know that.
Okay.
I've
now, how did you find that out?
Well, I've dealt with that in retail. They try to spit on you. And then attempted murder is a criminal offense too, because I tried to kill him.
That was Tamika's testimony as well. So Tamika and Pastor KL, they were almost down for attempted murder. Oh my.
Right.
Okay. All righty. Well, did somebody actually try to spit on you before?
Yes. And I came over the counter and I almost killed him.
Wow. Okay. Well, the three of us didn't know, and I told everybody, hey, press charges. You can press charges now. It's a criminal assault. Do your thing.
Mm-hmm.
Press charges.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the reason why I didn't go to jail.
Oh,
because it was self-defense.
Right. Oh, okay. You got out of that one.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
oh yeah. But he
did you know beforehand that it was a crime?
No, but unlike Al, I didn't have another cheek to turn.
Yes, Al's smiles will always get him to the next level. Try it sometimes. Every once in a while, my Due Time crew, we talk about friendship. And, kids are always talking about their friends. And in light of quite a few stories we did in 2025 about kids hanging around with the wrong crowd and You picking the wrong friends. We also have adults who don't know how to choose friends or don't know how to sever ties from friends. So there, I came across an article, and they are saying that these particular things will drag you down if you hang out with these people. If these are your friends, if your friends are doing this and you're doing it with them, it will somehow drag you down. If it won't drag you down in action, it will drag you down emotionally. When you think you have confided in somebody to be a friend, and now they're not holding up their end of the deal, sometimes people have, they feel pulled down. I don't know. You let me know. They say your friend never makes time for you. Will that drag you down? Brother Al, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, I definitely. You saying you're my friend. I think people need to find a definition of the word friend. But you saying you my friend and you never got time. Every time I call you, you busy. Every time I say, hey, bro, let me meet up with you, let me talk with you, you're busy. I would say, yeah, definitely, yes.
All righty. What about you, Tamika? Do you feel like, someone who doesn't make time for you is dragging you down?
Definitely. One of the, like you're not available when, we should have some one-on-one time, and even sometimes just to be able to, I'm going through a situation and I need another ear. Sometimes we need a little ear, did I handle this right? Should I handle, just kind of help me talk it through. You're not available at all. Yeah, that'll definitely drag me down.
Okay. Pastor KL.
Well, I'm a little different. I don't necessarily believe so. If I call you and you don't answer the phone or you don't call to check on me, it ain't gonna bring me down. Life still goes on. I just know that I can't depend on you, and you're not the person that I need a part of my circle. But I can't allow anybody to bring me down. When people die or leave your life, you still gotta go. So because your mama was your best friend and now you can't call her anymore, it's gonna bring it. No, I gotta keep going. So you gotta find a way to be able to do it by yourself. I'm happy with Jesus alone.
All righty. We got to check in from our girl Stacy. I'm with you, Pastor KL. I'm finding it difficult to find that I get dragged down if you don't make time. I think that's just the indication that you're not my friend. I think it was Pastor Brother Alice said it. We need to check these definitions. But drag me down, no. My mother always said, you ain't got no blankety blank friends. I ain't have to worry about it.
This is a new year. What was the blankety blank? I can't figure it out.
Yeah, go ahead, tell him, Pastor Steph. Go ahead, tell him.
Well, considering that Ernie wasn't a Christian, we can't say her words on this screen.
And look, my parents said the same thing.
Oh, yeah?
Same thing. Where you was up? Well, I was doing it with my friend. You ain't got no blankety blank friend.
Yes. So in that case, I could never have. I wish I would go tell my mother or look sad because she said, "What's wrong with you, girl?" And I'll say, so and so's not. I can't find so and so to talk to me. Or so and so. Oh, she would cuss me out. Oh, yeah. I would have done better not saying anything than crying and telling it to her. So. Thank you, Ernie. You just saved me a lot of heartache. All right. There's another point that they make. They say your friends are overly critical of your life's choices. That will drag you down. Tamika, would you agree?
It's one thing to be constructive, to have constructive criticism, that's one thing. But like, you don't like anything. Like, how are you a friend if everything that I do is wrong? Everything that I align myself with, all my goals, all my aspirations, I'm telling you my dreams and things that I want to do. And before I can even get there, you're like, let me tell you what's wrong with you. You're not my friend.
Okay. Brother Al, someone who's overly critical of your life's choices. This is supposed to be your friend. They should be able to speak into the things that they see that, that you're doing wrong, or the choices that you're making, they're not right. Will that drag you down?
Well, I won't say drag you down. It's telling me you ain't my friend. It may be a little jealousy there. Everything I do, you got a problem with it. Of course, if you see me slipping on something, you're supposed to tell me. But every little thing I do, you got something to say. Yeah, it's some jealousy up in there. So I won't, like I said, I'm like, KL, don't bring me down, but it's just showing me you're not my friend.
All righty. Pastor KL.
Well, I think it depends on what your goals is. If every week I come up with a better idea on how to rob a bank, and you keep coming up with the same answer that's not good, then yeah, I think you kind of being a friend. Sometimes we decide that we want to do something in life, that our friends can see that ain't you. I want to be the next Michael Jackson. No, you don't. No, you don't. I want to be the next this. No, you don't. The next top model. No, you're not gonna be on the top of nothing. And sometimes it's that hard no or that hard critique that brings you down. But you don't want to deal with reality. You're not gonna be, the next whatever if you ain't living that kind of lifestyle.
It's funny that you respond like that, because that was what I was gonna stick a pin in. We have friends who sometimes see things that we don't see, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, whether it's just like Pastor KL said, general choices, career goals. And I think everybody's had some person that's close to them. Can you ever make a good decision? What do you do? How do you tell people that, I'm sorry, you're just not on the right track? How do you say that when you have to keep saying it? We're not talking about those one-shot deals. We're talking about when you just got to keep on. Every time you turn around, it's like, oh Lord. It's almost like the honeymooners. It's funny. I said to Shantice one day, I said, how does he get everything wrong? How does he run into a brick wall in everything? How do you deal with those friends? And I'll start with you, Tamika. How do you gently tell them, or do you gently tell them? Or do you just kind of hey, yo, let me just give it to you.
Start off, you start off, kind of like Q-tip easy, because you realize, oh, if I don't say something, you're going to hit a brick wall and it's going to hurt. And so you start off with that, and then you may have to, do an intervention. I've had incidences where, okay, I done told you that didn't work. Let me try your sister. Let me try your brother. Let me try another friend. Let's rally around, and see if I can get you that way, and it's sad because if that doesn't work, then sis, look, I'm going to have to strong arm you. I'm going to have to hit you in the face with it, because if I don't hit you in the face with, listen, my blow is a lot easier than you going into that brick wall. My fist might hurt, you may cry, and even in some instances, you may stop talking to me for a little while, but, I had to do what I had to do, and if it's the Lord's will, you'll come back. If not, I had to say what I had to say. You'll know that what I did was out of love.
Okay. I'm going to flip the script a little bit, Brother Al. So we have the times when you're like, okay, I'm just going to tell him, whether it's gently, whether it's, harsh. What happens to those times where you like, you know what? I'm just going to let you run into that brick wall, because no matter what I say, you're going to do what you want to do anyway.
Right. Hey, like you said, I done told you. First of all, I done came at you. Speaking of the honeymoon, I done came at you like Alice. Here we go again with one of them crazy harebrained schemes. and I've done that where I told the person, I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna sit back and let you learn because you don't want to listen. Okay, I'm gonna stand right back and let you run into that wall because that's how you want to do it. So when it comes to that, when it gets that far, like you said, it's nothing you can do. So you know what? I got to stand back and let you go ahead and fall. And who's good for that? Our children. We don't know nothing. We were born adults. We was born adults. We don't know nothing. My son, plenty of time. Now, Pop, I see what you said now. I just look at him and smile. I don't even say I told you so. I just, and you're going to keep learning.
Shantice was Madam. Well, I know you told me don't do it, but I he owned that thing. I don't know if anybody else had room in their life for that. She owned that thing. Pastor KL, when do you make the decision to just tell a person something or just, you know what, I'm just going to be silent. I'm not saying anything. And I'm talking about the times when you haven't said anything already, because we do get there. But when do you make the decision to do just that?
Well, first of all, I'm so glad you cleared that up because I thought you said Shantice was a madam. And I was like, oh,
you
my.
Know what?
A madam? I'm so glad you cleared it. I was like, where is she going with this? Did you not tell her?
Oh, my goodness. Leave it to you.
I'm just saying, that's what I heard in the vehicle. I'm sorry. But this is what I would say. From a spiritual standpoint, I don't think you can ever get to a point where you let them crash into the wall until you tell them. You can, because the blood is on your hands. If you know something and you see something, this is why we tell the children, see something, say something. So how are we different from the see something, say something? So you have to be able to tell them. And then if they decide to go, okay, we'll go crash in the wall. The blood is no longer in my hands. But this is what I would tell you. I know I told the story earlier, years ago, that my son wanted to go to school to be a singer. And I said, but you can't sing. Why would you waste all my money going to a school to do something that you can't do? And not until I told him that did he say, well, you know what? I thought that's what you expected me to do because you sang. So sometimes they're trying to follow in your footsteps, knowing they can't do what they're trying to follow. So it makes it more difficult for them in life. You know what I mean? Trying to follow something that's not a part of them.
Wow. Okay. All right. Good information. They also say a friend will drag you down when they bring negative energy into your life. All righty. I'll start with you, Pastor KL, just in case you need a time to break out.
Yeah. Again, for me, I'm totally different because I stop that negative stuff. I don't let that stuff get into my spirit. I don't let that stuff get into my psyche. When people begin to talk, death and life is in the power of the tongue. So when people keep talking negative, it gets compiled into your psyche. And sometimes you become what you hear. So you have to stop it right away. And then know that this person is not for you. You can't, because once it gets in me, I'm tore down. So I don't even have an ability to go and say I can't be with you no more. Because now I'm in depression, I'm in oppression, I'm in confusion, and you walking around like there's nothing wrong with you. No, you're not my friend.
All righty. Brother Al, they bring negative energy into your life. Is that a person that will drag you down?
Yes, if you continue to be around that person, and it gonna bring you down. But through that, my nephew, even family, they used to call him Debbie Downer. Every time you can be happy, you get around him, he starts his mess. And me and him got into a big thing about it. I was like, yo, I'm tired of hearing it, bro. If you're gonna be like that, just don't call me, don't be around me, no nothing. I said, you don't realize how blessed you are. You know what I'm saying? I said, so I can't be around you if you're gonna do that. And with me and him getting into it, we had a big argument, and because everybody always babied him. After that, he been doing better. We get along well. But I'm like, nah, bro, you ain't gonna bring mine. I'm all happy. Here you come with your nonsense. Because, you know, when you got friend or you got family, people don't seem to understand when you love that person and they coming around with the negative, you start taking on their stuff because you care about the person. Oh, no, sir. I done been through enough. God has blessed me. I don't need to take your mess. So fix it or leave. Got a choice.
Okay. I'm coming back to that one, Brother Al. Tamika, you know, they're constantly bringing negative energy your way. Is this a person who can bring you down?
Absolutely, you know, and it takes an extremely resilient person to evade those type of things, you know, because even if you don't hang with them when they're doing whatever it is, you know, it backlashes on you. For instance, if you've got this person who's negative and you're not, you know, then they start, you know, telling people things and your name gets lined up with this individual. You know, they often say that birds of a feather flock together, you know, and even if you're not that type of person, you know, some of it, that smut gets on you, you know. Not only that, you know, you'll find that when they're negative, they're talking to you, you can't stay like that. You know, God's children can't remain in that type of environment because you're going to feel uncomfortable or you'll make them feel uncomfortable and the two won't link up. You know, I don't understand how people retain relationships with people. I mean, this person is extremely negative. The two it's going to stretch away from one another. It's impossible for you to stay linked like that.
Okay. Brother Al said, you know what? You're a Debbie Downer. I don't want you around me. You know, I've tolerated this long enough. I don't want you around me. I don't want you to, I don't want to hear, you know, what you got to say because it's just too much. Is it safe? Is it safe to tell a person that, you know, without being concerned that they don't go jump off the bridge or, you know, they don't go swallow some pills or that doesn't send them into some tizzy? Is it safe to say, listen, enough is enough. Don't call me if all you got is negativity. Tamika, I'm going to start with you.
I've had to do that. You know, like you just so negative. You know, I can't even say good morning. What's so good about it? Wait a minute. It got that bad. There was nothing that I could say to this individual that would let them see the upside of anything. I'm like, your life is that traumatic that you don't have a shred, you know, just a minuscule anything. You know, and at the time I was concerned because there were other things that this individual was doing. And I was like, oh my God, you know, if I say such and such, you know, life is over for this individual, you know, and I had to pray because it was taking me down a road that I didn't like, you know.
Dragging you down.
Yeah, it really was. It was taking me down a road that I didn't like and I couldn't be a part of it, you know, and I had to tell them, listen, we can, you know, from time to time text or that type of thing, but I have to remove myself from that type of environment, you know, and the individual was okay.
Okay. Brother Al, you know, when you told your nephew, you know, listen, don't call me. I don't want to hear nothing from you if that's all you got. Was there a concern that you pushed too hard and this could actually end up in a bad situation with, you know, being something negative that happened?
It did cross my mind and I prayed for him and I prayed about it, but it was something that he needed to hear, you know, because I did have concern because, you know, the track that he was on, he could have harmed himself or did something crazy anyway, because just every day, I mean, the enemy was just on him, you know, and you know, it's so crazy because after I got on him, I mean, like I said, we had a big argument. You know, I even threatened to come down there and see him face to face. I'm like, you know who I'm talking to. Yeah, I'm telling you, it got that bad because
wow.
you know, everybody just dealt with it. It just became unbearable for everybody. Like nobody wanted to talk to him. And I was like, you know what? This is my nephew. He just going to hear it. He gonna have to get mad. And the good thing about it is because I'm saved, after I got this behind, we had that big argument, then we prayed together on the phone. We prayed. So I did have concerns, but then I was like, man, if I don't say nothing, the roadie going down possibly could still harm himself or do something crazy.
Okay. Pastor KL, can you push too far? You need to say this to you. You need to say this thing here. But can it be a little too much for this person, or should this just be a global thing? Enough is enough. When I get to this point, I'm just spewing that out. And you know what? You take it or leave it. You handle it the way you choose to handle it.
All right, I have another side to it. So if this person is constantly doing this, and this has been a change in his pattern, the Bible says, try the spirit by the spirit and see if it's of God. Sometimes you have to speak to the spirit, man, not to the person, not to Pookie, because sometimes the spirit is taking over and making him or her say all this stuff. And sometimes you have to denounce that. You don't war against a war against flesh and blood. And a lot of times, when people get caught up, the depression is not of God. These things are not of God. So you have to speak directly to the spirit. Now, you're supposed to be strong enough to know that this stuff can't overtake you. But you just don't. I don't think if you see something that you just walk away from that, because that's borderline suicide for them. A lot of times people are caught up, with demons and spiritual warfare. And because we see that negativity in our life, we walk away from it.
All right. So describe what you mean when you say speak to the spirit and not to the person. Because somebody may not understand what that means.
Especially when you pray, first of all, no one has said, let's pray for this individual. We just don't call me no more. I can't deal with you no more. But you got to get into your secret place and have a serious prayer. Lord, I know that's not you and Johnny. I know these are not your ways, Lord. I ask that anything that's not like you, that you begin to remove it right now. Lord, put him back on the wheel and make him over again. I mean, you have to be specific when you see specific things.
Okay. All right. Hopefully everybody gets the difference in the two. We got room for one more. Thank you for explaining that, Pastor KL. They expect more from you, but don't give you more in return. That can drag you down. Tamika.
So all you have is this little shred that you're going to give me, and you expect me to be there every time you whine, every time you cry, every time, there's a situation. I'm spending my resources, my time, my energy, my effort, and sometimes putting your things ahead of myself. And then when it comes to me asking you for just a little bit of help, there's just too much, just a small bit that I've requested from you is way too much. That'll definitely bring you down and it'll also make you kind of second guess yourself. Like, am I asking too much? All I asked was for this little thing, and when it comes to me asking you, I got to go above and beyond. And the one time that I don't, you lose all of your marbles regarding it. Yeah, that can definitely bring you.
Okay. Brother Al, they expect more from you, but don't give you more in return. Can that bring you down?
Yeah, like I said, it takes a lot to bring me down. It tells me you're not my friend. Period. Like I said, all these little signs that you're not my boy, you're not my homegirl. But people who, like you said, when you love somebody, you got a friend and you truly love them, it can bring you down. So it really depends on the person about bringing you down, but it definitely tells me you are not my friend. You know you got $10 and you're only gonna give me 50 cents. And I told you I needed to have some help. But I got $10. You want 5 of that? No sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The KL, what say you? When they expect more from you than what they're willing to give you or they have in return?
Well, one of my taglines is, we don't friend the same. And you got to be okay with knowing that we don't friend the same. It's either you're okay with it or you cut them off. There are some people that are never going to do as much as you do for them. Now whether you accept that from them or not is on you. But you know, my mother used to always tell me growing up, stop being upset. Everybody ain't gonna do what you do. Not only now look at it from a spiritual level too. Now that you find God, not only will they not do what you can do, they can't do what you can do. Because until they find the love of God, until they find everything that God has to offer, you know, without thinking that if I give this up, I lose all of this. Not knowing that if I give up this talent, I'll get more talent. I don't have to bury this one talent. You know, but the problem is that people don't friend the same. One, because they don't know what the definition of a friend. Two, they never had an example of what a friend really is. So they're just doing what they think it is. And now you're being upset because you do all this, you go above and beyond, which nobody asked you to do it, but this is who you are. And now you expect people to be who you are. We don't friend the same.
Yeah, you all up in my closing. Pastor
I'm sorry.
KL.
Say it again. Say it again.
I'll save that for tonight. Tonight I'm going to be on and we're going to continue this conversation because I've got like a ton of more points that takes us from the carnal friend straight into the being a spiritual friend. And that was my question. What happens? Do we consider, and now that Pastor K has brought it up, that was my question. Do we consider that God sometimes sends us in to be that friend? And we are actually expecting for them to meet us where we are, but they're incapable of doing so. Brother Al.
Absolutely. You know, I've been there. And I'm like, why am I this person friend? People have asked me, why are you that person friend? You know, and you had to sit back and say, man, God put me in this person's life for a reason. And then you have to get to the point where you have to say, you know what? Let me pray and ask God, what is it that you want me to do in this person's life? You know, because like you said, we become, like KL said, we become these friends and we expect them to do what we do or how we do things. And they are not on that level. That's why we've been sent in their life, you know? And so we have to recognize that and pray and ask God, what is it that you need me to do? What am I going to do with this person? Because if you don't tell me, I might kill him. So I need you to tell me.
All right. Before we go to Tamika, we got a couple of comments. Terrence says, a friend will bring you down because they want your life. They're just jealous. Shanti says, yes, Jesus will send you in. And if you do not stay focused on the fact that you are doing it for God and not for the slow person, it will definitely bring you down. Tamika.
I'll even give you for instance, a situation that happened to me. My best friend, when we first met, she was at a deficit. She was at an extreme deficit. And you know, like I recognized her heart and the heart that God created within her. And she was at a point where she just could not, you know, and the Lord allowed me to pour into her at that season, you know, but in the time frame between then and now, you know, God has done miraculous things in her life. And it is now the reverse, I would say. You know, I'm not in a deficit, but when I tell you the things that she has done and the person that she is and the way that God is making things over and over, I just thank God for that. You know? And God does things that sometimes when you first look at it doesn't make sense, but when he's finished, oh, what a wonderful thing. What an amazing thing that God can do.
All righty. Terrence, I'm going to address a friend will bring you down because they want your life. They're just jealous. I'm gonna address that tonight because that has room and space all in and of itself. I'm definitely gonna talk about that tonight.
You know what, Pastor Steph?
Yes.
You know, to Terrence, I would tell him, be careful.
No.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Do it tonight. I'll be there to cheer you on. Rah, 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 rah.
This is what friends will do for you. He said 9:00. Here's what you do, Pastor KL. You make sure you're on tonight at 9:00. So when we get to Terrence's statement, as a matter of fact, I took a picture of Terrence's statement so I can't forget what he said. You can give that information to Terrence because I'm sure it's something good. Don't misunderstand me. I just don't want to go into that now because that is a show in and of itself. Because especially after you say what you're going to say, I don't even want to know where we're going to go.
I'm old, so let me write it down. I'm old.
Well, you know what? Don't write it down because God might give you something new tonight. See,
right.
You kind of stuck there. We don't want to stymie the Lord. You know, we don't want to cut off the Lord's juices. Right. But you know what? My due time crew, thank you so much. Please join me tonight at 9:00. You'll be in the chat room. You know, there's more to be said, but we got more to talk about this, friend. You know, I do not subscribe to Happy New Year for many reasons, but I do realize being in this world that people do a lot of assessing at the top of the year. They do a lot of assessing at the end of the year. So I'm going to address that, you know, since now all of our juices are flowing because we in day 5 of the new year and we want to do things differently. But I would love to get your feedback in our chat room tonight. So please join us. I know, Tamika, it's past your bedtime, but girl, come on. Take one for the team, for the Lord.
That's right.
And join me tonight at 9:00. Brother Al, I'm looking forward to having you up in the chat room. And Pastor Kale, make sure you're in there so you can give Terrence your 2 cents. All right?
Amen.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. You have been great. Thank you for your contribution, and we pray you have a blessed day.
You as well.
Sure.
All right. It is the top of the hour. You know how I always say it on a Monday morning. And it is time for the Switch with Shantice. Let's say good morning to Shantice.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. What you got for us today?
Today I have the Switch with Shantice, where we make the switch from the streets to our godly seat, and we have our first switch tip for 2026, as Pastor said, for the top of the year, and we are still keeping the momentum because 2025 was just 6 days ago. So we are going to make sure we keep up with this momentum, and we are at switch tip 237, and that is stand down from the challenge. Now, again, if you follow the Switch with Shantice, you know that God keeps us very, very, very disciplined and meditating on definitions. And this definition, he broke down a little more intricately than normal. So challenge is to invite someone to engage in a contest. A challenge is to enter into competition with or opposition against. A challenge is to make a rival claim to or threaten someone's hold on a position. A challenge is to dispute the truth or validity of. A challenge is to make demands on or prove testing to. Now, why do y'all think God had to break this definition down like this? It wasn't okay that he just stayed with one or maybe 2 definitions. It's because we have to make sure that we're really meditating on all of this. And when I think about being challenged, And I remember referring to being challenged in a previous switch tip. I'm not sure exactly which switch tip it was, but really quick, I was reintroduced to someone who knew me someone who knew me way before I started paying God any type of attention. And they started coming back around and saw that I no longer do this, I no longer do that, I now do this, I now do that. And there was a whole lot of questions. And I'm fine with the questions because my thing is, listen, I'm ready to let you know that Shantice did not wake up one day and say, I don't want to do that no more. I want better. I'm going to start doing that. I want better. No. Again, I was very content with the toxicity and dysfunction that I called my lifestyle. Okay. I was very, very happy. God then came and introduced my real life, my new life, my glorious life in Christ. And I was like, you know what? That's looking kind of appetizing and tasty. And let me dive into that a little more. And the more they would ask and the more I would explain, the more they would ask. Now, anyone who knows me, and if you've been following the switch tips, God makes sure that I'm very thorough. Like I give people very few outs to be able to say, I didn't know. No, because by the time you talk to me, especially if it's about me, you know. Okay, you know. But the more I explained, the more they questioned. And it wasn't until I found myself being dragged down and falling, like Pastor Steph and the Good Time crew just got finished explaining and going through, I started realizing that these are not questions, you're challenging me. It's way past, well, why don't you drink anymore? Why don't you want to curse like that anymore? Why are you not okay with casual sex anymore? Why are you? It went way past those questions. So now you're challenging and dispute the truth or validity of, meaning you trying to see how valid I am in the lifestyle that I'm telling you I have now. And whenever I think about how I felt, because I felt, how I felt during that time, because you get so caught up in trying to prove yourself and trying to show that you valid and trying to show that you can stand up to the test. Listen, God will test you so that he can show you. You ain't got to prove nothing to him because God already knows. God's going to know if you're going to pass the test or whether you're going to fail the test. The enemy doesn't know what you're going to do. He studies you long enough to where he's going to introduce or reintroduce some things to you to where he figures you may most likely 99.9% chance you're going to fail, but there may be that 0.1% chance that you say, you know what, forget you, and you go back over to God. When I think about challenges, I think about after Jesus was baptized and the Holy Spirit led him up to the wilderness to be tempted. And I'm going to really quickly read and go through these. Matthew 4:1-3 in the Amplified Version. Then Jesus was led by the Holy Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. After he had gone without food for 40 days and 40 nights, he became hungry. And the tempter came and said to him, if you are the Son of God, command that these stones become bread. Now, again, if we're going back to my story and comparing it to this, it was a while that I was celibate. It was a while that I was around this person who, back in my once upon a time life, we was rocking a certain way. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Stop acting like a dry Christian. We were rocking a certain way. So it wasn't no 40 days and 40 nights. It probably had been a little longer, maybe a day short. But it had been some time with me not engaging in these things. So once you refrain from doing something or ingesting something or having something, you leave yourself a little. And this is why you have to make sure that you stay on point with God. And the same way the devil came to God and said, if you are this, then do that. And that's the same way that I was being challenged. Well, you say that you celibate now, so there should be no problem with you coming to spend the night over here. Or there should be no problem with you doing this. You say you don't engage in that no more. What's the problem? Be careful. Be careful. I'm sorry. Matthew 4:5-6, Amplified Version. Then the devil took him into the holy city, Jerusalem, and placed him on the pinnacle, highest point of the temple. And he said mockingly to him, meaning the devil said mockingly to Jesus, if you are the Son of God, then throw yourself down. For it is written, he will command his angels concerning you to serve, care for, protect, and watch over you. And they will lift you up on their hands so that you will not strike your foot against a stone. So if you are really a Christian, Shantice, then you should be able to throw yourself in this and come right up out of it. What's the problem? You should be able to kind of dibble and dabble in these things and not be torn down. What's the problem? There's a whole lot wrong with that. And again, pay attention to how it's not until I'm reading it now that anytime somebody keeps challenging you and saying, well, if you're really this, if you're really that, what they're also saying to you is, I believe that you are, but I want to throw you off your game. Because if you're really this and if you're really that, then I don't have to try to challenge you to such extremes. Verses 8-9, Amplified version. Again, the devil took him up on a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory, splendor, magnificence, and excellence of them. And he said to him, all these things I will give you if you fall down and worship me. So the devil took Jesus up to the highest point and showed him the wonders that were in the world and said, all of this can be yours if you fall down and give all the glory, the praise, the honor, and the credit to me. Not remembering and realizing the validity that was already in Jesus, that all of that belongs to Jesus anyway. He created all of it. So I had someone challenging me with my body. Why don't you use your body like this anymore? Listen, I'll give you this. I'll make you feel like that. I'll make you feel like that. If you just surrender to me, I'll make it. Excuse you. My body is already mine. It already belongs to me. You trying to get my body. I'm not trying to get my body. Pay attention. How are we supposed to respond to the challenges? We're supposed to respond like Jesus. Verse 4, but Jesus replied, it is written and forever remains written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes out of the mouth of God. Verse 7, Jesus said to him, on the other hand, it is written and forever remains written, you shall not test the Lord your God. So when people are trying to challenge you, they're not really challenging you, they're ultimately trying to challenge God. Verse 10, then Jesus said to him, go away, Satan, for it is written and forever remains written, you shall worship the Lord your God and serve him only. So how did Jesus reply to the challenge? He didn't fall for the challenge. Unlike me, I was stupid and fell for it. Why? Because I felt like I had to prove myself. And ultimately, I was really trying to prove myself to God because I wanted God to see that I was able to be around the challenges and not fall for it, but then I ended up falling anyway. Listen. There is no shade in when you can't be around a person. There is no shade in when you can't go somewhere anymore. There is no shade in when you can't do anything anymore. Do not allow the devil to make you feel like you're weak because you can no longer do these things. Because God tells us, do not keep company with the angry person. God says, do not be deceived. Bad company corrupts good morals. These are things God says. So what is God saying in street ebonics terms? Stay away. Okay, stay away from the dumb person, stay away from the slower person, stay away from the people, places, and things that you used to engage in, do stuff with, all of that, because you're not strong enough. And can I tell you something? None of us are. None of us are strong enough. And I fell for the old banana in the tailpipe. It's like, listen, Shantice, you're not strong enough until you link with Jesus. And Jesus is going to show you that humility says, you know what, I'm going to stay away. I keep telling people, when I first finally decided to follow Jesus and stop drinking, for one whole year, I could not go to City Island. I could not go to Dallas BBQs. Why? Because those were the two main establishments I would go to get twisted. And I had to not only be honest with myself, but with people close to me, because listen, I had to tell them, don't invite me over there because I ain't going. Because next thing I know, you order something, and I keep staring at it a little too long before you know what I'm indulging in it. No. I had to be honest. Now I can go there and anywhere and be fine. And now people looking at me like I'm crazy because I'm ordering the version cocktail, to the point where now other people start ordering it or inquiring about what I'm drinking. And now they either don't drink or they're now drinking the non-alcoholic drinks. So see how you're able to become the real influencer. So we need to make sure that we're making the conscious decision of making the switch from going up with the challenge, acting like you can stand 10 toes down to the challenge, because you can't. And making sure that you stand down from the challenge so that you can really show the validity, not in you, because it's not about you, but the validity in Jesus and God's word. Thank you, Pastor Steph.
Thank you, Shantice. Another practical switch tip: stand down from the challenge.
Yes.
Amen. Thank you for your contribution into
Thank
this
you.
episode, and we pray you have a blessed day.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Ooh. So I was trying to think of how I could wrap this thing up without stepping on some stuff that I need to say tonight. Because again, tonight, there's more to be said. It's back on. And, the Spirit of the Lord told me, you need to finish this conversation because there's more to be said. There's a whole lot more to be said. Stand down from the challenge. So I'm going to tell you a really quick story that I probably told on this show once, maybe twice, maybe 10 times. I don't know. But I do know I told this story. So there was a woman that I knew. And I'm going to blend the two. I'm going to blend our conversation about friendship, and I'm going to blend the stand down from the challenge. Okay. So there was a woman that I knew who was dating a guy, and, we would always be talking, and she started telling us how she would want to go out, but every time she asked him to go somewhere with her, he kept saying no. Kept saying no, I'm not going. No, I'm not going. And she was talking about it in a complaining manner. Oh, Mark won't go here. He won't go there. Every time I ask him to go here, every time I ask him to go there. This is somebody she's supposed to really care about. She's supposed to love. Okay. And, if you're in a relationship, you really should be friends. So we could say that they were friends, and lovers. And she would just bash him to us all the time. Oh, I think I'm getting ready to leave him because so we were like, well, where do you want to go that he doesn't want to go? Well, I want to go to the club. I want to go to a lounge. I want to go to this place. I want to go to that place. And, we're not making a connection of anything, just these arbitrary places that she would want to go. And she said, but every time I ask him to go somewhere, he tells me no. Very few places that he'll go to church with me. But very few other places he won't go. So this went on for about a year and a half. This went on for quite some time. And one day we were all outside talking, including him. And I don't know who brought up a conversation. It wasn't about what she had said, but it was just a conversation that led him to say, this is why I don't go those places. This place, that place, this place, that place, this place, that place. And we were like, okay, now what happened? And he said, at one point, I was an alcoholic. He said, really, really bad. I was an alcoholic. He said, and I could not go anywhere without drinking. He said, but I finally got myself together, went to, Alcoholics Anonymous, and, I'm, just now I don't drink at all. Not only don't I drink, but I don't go anywhere where they will probably be drinking. So I don't go to those family gatherings unless it's a gathering like one of the people from AA would have, because he knew that there would be no alcohol. But if I go to a regular family gathering, they're going to be drinking because that's what they do. So I just stay away. I'm not going to a lounge because what do they do when they're in a lounge? They drink. I don't go to a club, not because I don't like the club or I don't want to sit down and chill and have a good time. I don't even go to restaurants. Why? Because all around me is alcohol. So I just stay away. So it's like, okay. So he had to go. And I was like, so what's your problem? You never told us once. I said, well, did you know he was an alcoholic? And she said, yeah. I said, so how in the world could you possibly complain that he won't go anywhere? These are triggers for him. And he's smart enough to know, because he did say that, when he first kind of stopped drinking, he thought he could go into one of those arenas and he failed. It didn't work. And we're like, well, then what is your problem? Then you really don't love him. There's no way in the world you love him, but you want to leave him because he's trying to save his life. Because clearly you're not helping him to save his life, because he's being honest with you and he's letting you know, hey, I can't do this thing. I can't do this thing called being around other people who drink. Stand down from the challenge. And that's what he did. He said he just did. And at this time, it had been about 5 or 6 years since he hadn't drank. But he was still at the point where he was like, listen, I'm not doing it. I'm not going. He said, because not only do I not want to fall into that, but now I've graduated into, I just don't even want to be around that. I look and I see who I used to be. I don't like that view anymore. I see what it does to people. I don't like that view anymore. And it made sense. Don't be afraid. Where she's saying, well, we don't go nowhere and we can't do this and we can't do that. He was like, okay, I'm not going. Don't be afraid to step up. Don't be afraid to stand down. Listen, I'm not going in there to prove myself. You know, Shantice brought this up at one point, but I just read it again recently about Demi Moore. And she was saying all of the things that she had done with Ashton Kutcher to that took their relationship down, that took ultimately her down. And one of the things that happened with her was there was this big age gap between the two of them, as you know, and she wanted to keep up with him. That meant going out with him and drinking and partying, and she had just battled that monster. She just conquered that. But all of being in it, being around it, before she knew it, she ended up relapsing. Because the challenge was, well, I can, I've been out of this 20 years and I don't have to worry about, this anymore. And, he's going to help look out for me. He's not going to help me fall. No. Where are these friends? Who are these friends? These people that love you enough to say, you know what? I want to see you win. I'm not going to put a challenge before you. Because see, if you love someone, you are not going to tempt them, challenge them, dare them, put them in a situation where they may fail. If they already told me, listen, I'm 20 years clean, I don't want to drink, and you know what, how I've kept from drinking for 20 years, I just don't go around it. Or if I do, I'm there 5 minutes, I show my face and then I'm out. I'm not going to say, well, we're a couple now and I got you. Don't worry about it. You ain't me. You don't know what I went through and why I ended up failing for so many times. Because listen, the reality is, how many times does a person fail before they actually find that niche that keeps them alive? How many times? So we talked about friendship. And the things that will drag you down. Well, here's one thing that will drag you down. He can't even be in a relationship with someone he loves and says that she loves him without her constantly challenging him to say, well, come on, I want to go to the club. I want to go to the lounge. I want to go to the family gathering. I'm tired of not being able to go. So we were like, well, you know what? Go without him. Well, we're supposed to be together. I said, well, then you know what? You don't love him. Just leave him alone. Because I'd rather walk away from you than to watch you fall. But again, we just talked about this thing. Who taught you how to be a friend? Who taught you what friendship really is? And that's what we're going to continue this conversation tonight. Are we hanging around people who will drag us down? Because guess what? Him, Mark, and Demi Moore never thought that the people that were closest to them, the people that love them, would help to drag them down. See, when we talked about this stuff with the Due Time crew, it was like mindless, brainless to them. And is it because they know the Lord? Or is it because it's just been grounded and there's just certain things you're just not going to tolerate? Or is it a combined thing where these things put together help me strong and I'm not going to see myself dragged down for anything, especially a friend, a brother, A friend loveth at all times, but a brother is born for adversity. And we're going to talk about that tonight with There's More to Be Said. So come on, hang out with us so we can continue this conversation, because there's some stuff up in that list that, man, we've got to talk about. And we want to definitely address, when your friend is jealous of you. How do we get there as a friend? How do we not love as a friend opposed to being jealous? That's a hard one. So God wants us to talk about it tonight. So make sure you are there. You've been watching It's Due Time with Pastor Steph. Join us Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. where we discuss matters of the heart, mind, and spirit. As you go through your day, be sure to set your mind on things that are above, not on things that are on the earth. They will only serve as a distraction. Remember, prayer changes things. It's Pastor Steph signing off, and I want to thank my Due Time crew for always coming through big time. Thank you for hanging out with us and keeping that chat room alive and helping us do what we do. Please do not miss this opportunity to give Christ your life right now. Please do not miss this opportunity to strengthen that relationship with the Lord right now, because later is not promised to anyone. Until tonight, God spares at 9 o'clock right here on Facebook Live, Coach for Christian Life, YouTube Live, a Closer Walk Media, Christian Media Network, a Closer Walk Christian Media Network. All right. If you can't catch us live at 9 o'clock, please make sure you go back and check it out, because it's on demand 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We gotta finish this conversation, because you know what? Maybe you think that there's a friend in your camp and God is trying to reveal who they really are. Until then, God spares. I love you.